All right. Next topic. We have Taemin with this new mini album called Want. All right, which is also the title of the first
How
track.
is this only his second mini album though? It feels like he's been doing solo music for a while now.
I think he's done 2 full albums.
Oh, that's why. I was just like, hasn't he been putting out a lot of music already?
I think his first, his solo debut was a mini.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one with like Danger and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So anyways,
you can read it again.
The first track is called Want, which let me get back to my notes. Yeah, like anyways, like at this point I feel like with this song, like Taemin has definitely carved out his own distinct style, and that's one thing I'm really proud of for him. Like especially with like Shinee being my favorite like boy group of all time, bar none. And yeah, like the choreography shines brightly as always with him. Like he is like easily one of the best idol dancers, period, in my opinion.
The best.
Like he's so good. He is so good. And like it's just I can't stress enough how good he is. Like if you haven't seen the music video or a live performance or whatever, like
go watch the live.
Check it out.
Watch the live performance specifically.
So onto the actual like song, like the like bouncy like bass beat is super like catchy and infectious, especially when it's like combined with the chorus. And like I feel like in this song you can still like clearly hear his like influences from like Michael Jackson or something like that.
100%.
Which I definitely like to see, because like we first saw that like with his like first single Danger, especially. And
there was a special like M Countdown or a special episode of some live show where it was like him and Minji and a bunch of other people. They did a special dance performance to Thriller, like straight up. Cool. It was awesome. So it's no surprise that he takes after Michael. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I like it more than Move Yet, but it's so close. Like it gives it a run for its money. Like this is such a good song.
Yeah.
And then like the music video was really, really cool. Like lots of like awesome aesthetics. Like even in the screenshot we're using, like it's like him in the foreground with like very warm colors.
Yeah, the lighting.
And then like in the background it's like all dark and dingy and dank, and
it's like they call it in art, they call this chiaroscuro, where it's literally just like the lighting is almost like the contrast between it is insane.
Like the dance shots, everything was like super cool. I loved the music video for the song.
So the instrumentals of the song, like the sort of part that you're mentioning, like that really like punchy sort of like sample, it kind of actually reminds me of there was a song that The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar did for the Black Panther soundtrack called "Pray for Me." It has almost like the do like that sort of thing going, and it's got like the same thing going for it here. So I love that part.
I definitely feel a similar vibe from The Weeknd and Taemin. Like they both pull similar influences from Michael Jackson. I think
Taemin is essentially, he's the Korean Weeknd. Like it's not even like he really is at this point. Just like he's got that same sort of like, they call it PB R&B, just like basically like really like hipstery like R&B style, and it's his niche, like you mentioned. He's carved out this incredible niche for him, and when I hear his music and when I see his videos, I'm like, okay, that's Taemin. I can instantly recognize, or I get it immediately, and that's very hard with how saturated the industry is like, that's very rare for that to happen for me.
Totally.
Again, like you mentioned, like he really takes after Michael. Like he even has like there's one part where he has one glove, like straight up like just a one glove. Like that's like an iconic sort of Michael Jackson look.
Yep.
And man, he's almost unmatched when it comes to like stage presence and choreography, and how he all ties this into creating a mood and an atmosphere in his solo music. And I love that he's able to sort of, again, there's a lot of artists when they do solo music, they're often afraid to sort of, if they're a part of a group and they go solo, a lot of the times they're afraid to sort of break out of that boundary because they don't want to alienate fans. But Taemin's just completely unhinged at this point. Like, he's not afraid to sort of push this envelope even further than it already has.
I honestly, I really love the fact that his solo music is so distinct from what he did with Shinee, but it doesn't like disrespect, I guess,
it
what
doesn't
the fans
whatsoever.
originally love him for.
Yeah.
And like what you were saying, like I just feel like if somebody asked me like who is like the best like performer in Korea, I feel like Taemin is definitely.
I mean, Psy, like probably besides Psy.
Yeah, no, like I feel like he's definitely like on my short list of people. Like Psy, Taemin, Boa. I feel like a lot of like he's on that. He's on that level of. It's a performance. It's not just him like dance like it. It encompasses the meaning of the word performance. Just wanted to touch on the production team that did this song. They're called Design Music. It's just a bunch of people from like Sweden, I believe. But their repertoire so far has been Simon Says by NCT 127, Sassy Me by Red Velvet, Here Come the Regrets by Epic High. That's amazing.
Wolf by EXO, Cookie Jar by Red Velvet. So like there's a lot of pedigree on here. So like we've been sleeping on
those are all amazing songs.
Yeah, we've been sleeping on Design Music a lot, so they might go on that producer shortlist. And one thing I just need to mention, especially with the like visual elements, I love like the one thing I love about Taemin is that he's not afraid to have such an androgynous sort of visual element, dancing style, like the way because usually, if it's a guy, you can only have all guy background dancers. If it's like a really like hip hoppy song, or like if it's a sexy song, you can only have girl background dancers. Like he always like interchanges. Like the fashion that he wears is very androgynous. The choreography style that he wears is very androgynous. That it works both with female and male background dancers. Like, I think that's his defining part. I think that's what separates him. He's always willing to push that envelope in terms of visual style or how he portrays himself on stage and as a performer, as an artist. So I think that's what gives him such a clear edge, because not every artist in America, in Korea, is willing to put themselves out there like that. So that's why Taemin deserves all the praise for that.
I think another thing also is like I usually don't really go for that kind of stuff. Like it's just not my thing. But I feel like Taemin really just pulls it off in such a great way that like I just don't care.
Yeah, you don't care.
I don't think about it. You know, it's just because like, it's not a gimmick. That's
the thing. You know. He's only capable of doing, because the performance is so good. It doesn't feel like a gimmick, and not everyone can pull that off. So.
Exactly. I don't know. Like it's just like I feel like so many artists try to pull that off, but it's a gimmick. It's for attention. Not just them.
Yeah. Whereas Taemin makes that his entire being and his entire sort of essence and like the aesthetic and like what he's trying to convey. So what were Nate's notes on this? Right. I know he loved it. He's calling it mini album of the year already, so I'm sure it's gonna be good.
Nate's notes. More move style Taemin. I love the industrial sound of the instrumentals, and of course his voice is so smooth and airy. This is exactly what I wanted for a Taemin comeback to follow up Move. The bridge gives off such a shiny feel, with the rest of the song shows his individual style. I love that touch. The MV is basically a horror movie, so many cuts to weird imagery, all while Taemin molests you with a stare. Choreo definitely is in the same vein as Move, though it gets more intense during the chorus. I love that comment he made. It's just like Taemin molests you with a stare.
Oh Lord, that's one for the ages. Cooper's thoughts were: even darker than Move. I really love this song. It's so Taemin, but still evolved from his previous title tracks. His voice goes so well with these heavy and dirty synths. The MV is probably the best I've seen this year so far. Wow.
Yep.
I thought he'd put ATs over it.
I agree.
So many amazing props and sets. The snake imagery is also unique. The choreo, of course, is fantastic, as we've come to expect. Definitely up there for a Song of the Year candidate. That's another thing we've failed to mention.
I also agree.
Yep, so far. Yeah.
This year's been incredibly strong so far, I think, also, like, with just, like, hit singles that are coming out that are, like, just so freaking good.
I mean...
Like, we had this song, we had, like, Chungha, Gotta Go, we had A-Pink with, we had, like, just so much good stuff so far this year. ATs, like, I thought they were incredibly strong. Like, I'm really optimistic for this year.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to the second track, which is called Artistic Groove. In the pre-chorus, I like really like the vocal layering they did for him to like harmonize like kind of with himself. I thought that was just nice. Like it's not something that's like uncommon in music. It's just something that I think was done particularly well in this song. The only thing I wish that was different was that I wish we could have gotten a more like cohesive chorus other than just like repeating the same phrase over and over.
Artistic groove, that
like,
sort of thing.
Like it kind of reminded me of like Retro Future, which I didn't really like that much.
Yeah, it's
like,
same cadence as well, like artistic groove and Retro Future.
That being said, I feel like this is a lot better done.
Because it's Taemin. It's not gonna eat on like whiny voice or whatever.
Like
so
I just feel like also like the backing instrumentals like really make the song for me. Like the nice punchy bass, like I think that's something that's definitely a constant like throughout the album, is that like whenever that's present, it's super nice, super effective. So yeah, like I really really love this song, but it's probably my least favorite on the album. So if that tells you like how good all the rest of it is, like yeah.
Yeah, I happen to like this one, but did have the same sort of issues with you, where I feel like they could have been a bit more creative in terms of how they approach the chorus, as opposed to making it a bit of an empty sort of feel and just relying on that doon 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 doon, like the that bassy synth. Towards the end, like it's very subtle, but like when they're building up into like the chorus again, there's like this awesome like triplet sort of like section that I feel like they could have brought out a bit more or just like utilized a bit more, because I really loved how it sounded. So yeah, I enjoyed the song for the most part, but I mean just a bit of rearranging, I felt they would have put it over the top just a bit.
Yeah. All right, so Nate's notes. He said, I absolutely love how the song starts and just the single synth line and snaps. And then adds a beat. All right, hold on. Let me just restart this. I'm reading it with a completely different wrong cadence on all the words. All right. I absolutely love how this song starts with just a single synth line and snaps. Then adds a beat and great guitar part. Then dropping that for a tambourine and piano. Then the guitar comes back. This all leads into a fantastic drop. The artistic groove vocal part is so good with the auto-tuned yeah. Taemin's vocals are all fantastic during this whole build-up, and it fits the song so well.
Cooper said, this song is so smooth to listen to, and I love it. The chorus is so good, and Taemin's ad-libs add an extra layer of depth at the end.
Yes.
And one thing I just forgot to mention, though, and I know you're really big on placement, but I love how this followed Want, because they're almost like it's like a sequel, or like they flow so well into each other. I think that's on purpose why they put them together like this.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it was like the order of this album definitely flows really well.
Yeah.
And that's like, because I love to listen to like full albums. Yeah. And that's something that
it's a lost art essentially. For,
exactly.
Like organizing albums.
Like one thing I really like in albums, like just recently, I've just been going back and listening to old groups I used to listen to in like middle school, for example. Like I was listening to My Chemical Romance's like 2010 album, and I just love like the different like intros and interludes, and they like perfectly lead into the
concept
song,
albums essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Just the concept album. I wish we'd get that more in K-pop.
K-pop, yeah, we don't really get concept albums in K-pop, but
like it's super super fun. Anyways, third track, Shadow. Immediately when I was listening to the song, I was like, I want to know who the female vocals are for this song. Like it sounds like maybe it's someone from Red Velvet. Like I was thinking maybe either like Irene or Silgi or something. And Andrew said somebody on Reddit thought it sounded like Yeri. So like,
yo, it's all of them.
Yeah,
it's all of them. They're doing uncredited features.
I need to know, like, I just need to know who it is. And, like, if it's not somebody we know, maybe it's just a sample. Like, who knows? Maybe it's just as simple as that. But anyways, for the rest of the song, like, I love the way that the piano, like, instrumentals, like, lined up with Taemin's vocals, like, in the pre-chorus. And then, the, like, really epic strings that came in during the chorus.
Yeah.
I felt like it really helped with, like, as far as like the impactfulness and the mood of the song overall, especially in the chorus. And yeah, like I feel like this was definitely like one of the stronger songs in the album. I really really like this one.
Like it easily could have been a title track, in all honesty. Totally, it could have been a single, just because on its own, not even being associated with a music video or anything, the way that the elements such as like that na 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 na, like that part, the string orchestration, the way he addresses the way he attacks the vocals, it does an amazing job of creating a mood and an atmosphere, even devoid of visual elements, that it's clear as day. And that's a sign of a good song, when they're able to be that vivid without requiring any visual element of that, so to speak. One thing I really enjoyed also was towards the end, there's this like awesome electric guitar solo that I wish they brought out like further, because it was awesome. I thought they could have made better use of that, or like made it a bit louder just so you could hear and not just have to like listen carefully to it.
For me, I feel like electric guitar always has to be like front and center.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Super, like just loud and boisterous and like it's hype.
Yeah, it's super hype, yeah. Especially for this song. Yeah, it would have fit so much better. But
yeah.
I mean, again, this is an excellent song, and I very rarely it gives Want a run for its money. In all honesty, it's that good of a song. And I very rarely end up having to like have that happen between like singles and album tracks.
All right, so Nate said, driving string sections are what I live for in music, and this song has such an amazing one in the chorus. The instrumentals sound so dark and creepy at the beginning, with the female la 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 part adding to that. I just love how intense everything is about the chorus. Taemin's vocals sound so desperate. There's an awesome guitar part at the end too. Favorite song on the album by far. And yeah, I might agree.
Yeah.
But although I also really love the title track.
Yeah,
so
Want is just really good.
It's tough.
Cooper like even beats that in terms of like praise. Cooper says this song is probably top 5 Taemin. Like it's that high of praise. It's so cinematic and dramatic. It reminds me of something Vix would put out, but Taemin makes it his own. The la 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 la's are so incredible. Not sure if it's a sample. Someone says it sounds like Irene. The strings and drums make this sound so epic in just 3 minutes of runtime.
Yeah, so, I also thought it was Irene at first. I was like it kind of.
Well, let's just ask her on Sunday. Hey, Irene, did you do that?
Hey, was that you?
Is that you in Shadow?
Anyways, we can move on to the 4th song, Truth. With Truth, the piano instrumentals on the song I thought were like really beautiful and well done. I thought they came out really, really nice and crisp, like on like the final like track that we ended up listening to. And I thought Taemin's vocals really stand out on this song. Like this is definitely like the vocal showcase. And like even though like I expected that, it still was just like wow. Like it was really good. And yeah, I thought the future bass drop in the chorus was like really cool as well. Like it was super unexpected and like definitely took me off guard. But I thought it was really well done. Like and in that part, like they totally could have just done like a typical like 17 Chainsmokers type drop there, and it probably would have like a lot of people would have felt it was fine. But I'm really glad they went with this direction with it in the chorus. And yeah, I thought the song turned out really well.
Fun fact: this is co-written by JC from freaking NSYNC, or formerly of NSYNC. I think he's just doing a lot of songwriting now, and so JC Chazé, I forget how to pronounce his last name, but JC Chazé wrote a song for Taemin, or it might have been just a song that he wrote, and then the SM just so happened to buy it. That was a common thing back in the day. I mean,
like Run Devil Run was
Run Devil Run, Kesha. Yeah, a lot of famous SM songs were just originally tracked by other artists or just written by other artists. That being said, I mean, I'm usually the future bass lover here.
Aficionado.
But I don't know. Maybe it's that fact that why I kind of felt like that drop was kind of boring. I mean, again, I'd say the vocals were excellent, but yeah, I don't know. I felt nothing from the chorus in that sense.
I think for me, the reason I liked it so much was just because like there was no trace of it leading up to it, so it like really caught me off guard. Which
I expected it.
Oh, you're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be
because I feel because like, it's such a trope. It's such a trope. It's like emotional song and then wub wub wub.
Yeah. Okay. I was expecting it to be more like ballad focused, I think.
Okay.
Like when I was first going into it, but yeah, again, I definitely welcome the, I guess, electronic influences All right, so Nate, his notes are out of order. Hold on a second. All right, for truth, Nate said, piano ballad with the Chainsmoker style drop chorus. I disagree. I mean that's me interjecting. Anyways, back to Nate. I think Taemin's vocals are next level on this song. He uses the perfect amount of airy sounds and intensity during the verses that build. Then the drop for the verses, he really conveys his emotions well during that part. Piano solo bridge was a great touch too.
Cooper said, this song could be written off as a basic Western ballad, which I could see, but Taemin's sultry vocals escalate it. Yeah, I can see that. The chorus hits really hard, but I don't like how the song ends. Yeah, it kind of ends just abruptly, so I can see that point.
All right, next we have Never Forever. I thought there was a great use of guitar in this song, which I always like. Like, guitar is one of my favorite instruments to hear. Like, even if it's not in like my traditional like rock sort of setting, I always welcome it, especially in stuff like R&B and hip hop. I always think that's like a really interesting, I guess, use of it. But yeah, like, I thought it was pretty interesting in this song because like the instrumentation used is different than what I would have expected if you just gave me the acapella vocals. Like, I thought it would have been like more of a typical like boom clap sort of beat that you usually get in R&B. No, not like Miley Cyrus. Like, no. But yeah, like I figured you would have gotten like a typical like kind of beat like you'd get in like R&B songs. Like, for example, like i.e. like Red Velvet or SES being actual, like that kind of thing. But yeah, overall, I really am glad they went with a guitar. And also Taemin's ad-libs in this song I thought stood out a lot as well.
You could tell this song was produced by Americans just because of the styling of it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why I'm kind of bored of it, because they just have a lot of these songs. I mean, yeah, again, the acoustic guitar is great, his singing's great, but yeah, I don't know, just the impact of songs like this are just kind of lost on me at this point. It's very inoffensive to that degree.
Yep. All right, so Nate, acoustic guitar part throughout the song is fantastic. It's really interesting and not too simple. It actually mirrors Taemin's melody for parts, and it sounds really good. During the chorus, I really like the call and response they added with Taemin's improv parts. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with the ad-libs. I feel like this song is a great mix of not too simple but catchy at the same time. The chorus is perfect to sing along to. He wrote single along to. I think he means
sing along to. Cooper said the mid-tempo acoustic tune I was expecting, but it's really catchy, and I love the guitar and his harmonies in this.
Yes. All right, next we have Monologue. Like, Taemin's vocals especially stood out in this song. Like, there's something almost like, I guess, like haunting, I guess.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the exact word I used.
Yeah, like, you can really hear his emotions in every single verse of this song, and honestly, I think this is among his best vocals ever.
Oh, it might be his best ballad or track I've ever heard.
Like, for real. Like, any song he's ever featured on, I think this is some of the best like performance I've ever heard from him. I also really like the combination of like the piano and strings used in the song. Like, it's not overly complicated or like brand new, but I think it was done just coupled with his vocals. I think they really just work really well together. And yeah, like they lend really well to the, I guess, like emotional delivery of the song, and I think that's definitely the main like selling point there, at least for me.
Yeah, and I mean, Taemin's not really like he's kind of almost underrated as a vocalist, because
I think he definitely is.
Yeah, because like he and Jonghyun kind of like steal the spotlight to some degree.
Yeah.
When it comes to vocals, at least among Shinee. But I mean, he can hold his own. He can more than hold his own, and I mean, he definitely brings pride to SM being a company that prides itself on like the excellence and emotion of its ballads. So
what's crazy is like Jonghyun, like somebody, I think it was like someone asked like a bunch of like music producers from K-pop, and they asked like who is the best male idol singer, and they did it for female idol singer as well. And I believe Shinee Jonghyun was the most like said person. Yeah. And this was before he passed away too. Like, it was like, so this is not all hype. And like, so like Taemin, he like holds up with him pretty well.
Yeah.
So like that's just like he's definitely among the best idol singers in my opinion. He's one of my favorite. That's for sure.
Also, just like a tidbit, this was produced by two brothers, I believe, named Samuel and Robert Jaronco of Kuya Productions. So they're 100% they're Filipino. I can already like Kuya is like the term for older brother in Tagalog or for among Filipinos, or just like if somebody's close to you, you just call them Kuya. That sort of thing. Their repertoire includes they did Dinner by Suho. And they've also worked with artists such as Alessia Cara, so you could definitely tell. You definitely get an Alessia Cara vibe from this. They've worked with Big Time Rush. you know what's crazy? There are probably K-pop fans that are like, Big Time Rush was when again? Like 2000.
It's like 2010 probably.
There's probably K-pop fans that like they weren't even in school.
Like they don't know who that is.
They don't know who Big Time. That's crazy. Okay, so they worked with Big Time Rush. They worked with Jesse McCartney. They worked with Akon, and they worked with the Pony Man himself, freaking Genuine. So they're just all over the place. And for them to write an emotional ballad like this is awesome. So I'd love to see them work. Because again, SM has such a strength when it comes to ballad singers.
Yeah.
Like imagine them writing a song like this, but for Wendy or for I don't know, like or for Boa or for someone else like in SM. I'd be all up for it in all honesty. So
I feel like with all these like solo debuts and stuff, SM has definitely proven that I feel like they definitely have either the best reservoir for talent or they just have bar none the best training,
or they probably attract a lot of
they attract a lot of
good vocalists.
That too.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I feel like just overall like music wise, like not talking about like management and stuff like that, we all know there's SM bullshit all the time, but like I just feel like they put the most like care and love into their like music out of like the big huge labels. And you definitely hear it in this like they all like the producers, the artists, everyone, like they just work as a team and make something really nice and cohesive.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just this type of song like definitely helps like bring that together. So for Nate, he said the perfect mix of piano and strings for a ballad. The desperation and sadness in Taemin's voice really show throughout the song. The high notes at the end, which strings mirror leading into an instrumental ending, are the perfect way to end the song. I definitely agree.
Cooper said it's an SM piano ballad. It's great. The ending with the violin makes me tear up. Yeah, you could definitely, again, the emotion that he's able to deliver in this song is what definitely makes it memorable than what other ballads would have.
Like I guess until somebody bests it, I guess I'll put it as like it's like the male you are.
The male you are. Wow, that's high praise from you. Cause
like you are is one of my favorite ballads. Yeah. Like this is a really good ballad. Like I'm telling you, this is one of Taemin's best performances. Like I can't stress that enough. Like obviously he's not like hitting the huge like grandiose like high notes.
Yeah,
like
that's
Taeyeon
the thing.
But like
he doesn't like belt or whatever. It's just the delivery.
Exactly.
The emotion that he's able to do. It's those two aren't always like interchangeable. So or intercompatible rather. So that's an incredible talent that he has.
Yeah. All right. So next we have the outro. And like this gave me like a lot of like synesthesia moments. Like it basically like what I think of when I'm hearing this outro is like I'm like very deep underwater in the ocean and like something huge is just like approaching me. Like a huge like nuclear sub or like a sea monster or something. Like it's like something colossal. Something colossal is just like approaching you. Like that's what this feels like. And I feel like it definitely goes well with like the vibe of the album. And again, like the cohesion, like that's something I really, really appreciate. And I feel like this album, even just being a mini album, like achieved that really well.
I enjoyed it, though I probably would have enjoyed it better as an intro. Actually, just because I feel like if you led with this song and then went straight into Want, it would have been so perfect. And I feel like it kind of feels out of place just like putting it in
like
here at the end.
Intro that like seamlessly like goes right into Want.
Yeah, because I always listen to these on repeat, and then after hearing this, it goes straight into Want, and it sounds perfect. So I feel like just putting track number 7 like there, and just the way that this intro or this outro and then artistic groove would flow would just be like a perfect. It's almost like a friggin' like Rush style like concept like long ass song in that sort of way. So.
All right, so for Nate, he said the brassy synth and bass are so intense. Over top, the light synths are a really cool mixture. Taemin's falsetto just adds to it well.
Yeah,
it's hard to describe something like this because there's not like a ton going on. Yeah, it's just the outro. But
Cooper agreed with me actually. Great. He said that it would make more sense as an intro, but it's fine as it is. So yeah, ratings now.
All right, so for me, I gave the music a 6.5 out of 7. I think overall every song is fantastic. Every song does really well. I think the only thing I docked points for was just like an artistic groove. I wasn't super hot in the chorus, so that's like it's minor, and I don't think that it deserves to lose very much off of the full score. It's just that I don't think the album is absolutely perfect, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah. But for concept, I actually gave 3 out of 3 because choreography is incredible, music video is incredible, everything is super. Like the arrangement of the songs flows really well. I guess besides like outro should probably be the intro, but I feel like it works either way. And yeah, like even like the album art, I think it looks super cool, and it definitely like goes along with the vibe of the album. It's super dark and moody. Yeah. Yeah, like 3 out of 3 for concept easily. So overall, I gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
On my end, I gave it full marks for the single. For one, I gave 3.5 out of 3.5 because this is like a Song of the Year candidate easily, and mostly just because I wasn't sure if Taemin would have been able to blow me away the same way that Move did. Yeah. But he followed it up excellently. That's very hard, obviously, to follow up on songs that get really popular like that. But I feel like, this is more than fitting of being a follow-up to that song. Album tracks, 2.5 out of 3.5. I did enjoy most of them, especially the highlights being Shadow and Monologue. Yep. Minor complaints about some of the other ones, but I mean, overall, I did enjoy most of the album tracks. Some I would return to, in fact, such as Shadow and Monologue. Yep. Concept 2.5 out of 3. I didn't give it full marks just because I felt like I wanted, mostly because I felt like I wanted to see the choreography more in the music video. Because I saw it more in the live stage. I was like, yo, why are you hiding this? This choreography's awesome.
I think what I'd like is a performance version.
Oh, yeah, if he put a performance version, that would have made more sense.
Didn't he do that with Move? I don't remember.
Maybe.
I don't remember exactly, but I guess he didn't really need to with Move because there's a lot of.
It was mostly choreography in that end. But with this, I just again I love how Taemin is just so overt in the way he presents himself and the way his artistry just comes off of his music, his dancing, the stylistic choices and the visual choices that they make for this music video. It's just it's art essentially. So that's a total of 8.5 out of 10 on my end.
So Nate, no surprise, he gave it a full 10 out of 10.
Holy shit.
He thinks this is a perfect, amazing album of the year, or mini album of the year so far. Like, that's what he was saying in the chat to us. So, like, Nate really, really loves this album.
And Cooper, he usually leaves overall thoughts. He said, another great album by the legend himself. He gave me everything I expected and wanted from a Taemin album. So his score was 6 out of 7 for music and a 3 out of 3 for concept, leaving us with a 9 out of 10.
So that's a 9.25.
Yeah, 9.25. So it'd still be a truly Daebak album.
Yes.
But yeah, it's definitely deserving of it. And I think this is definitely one of his most refined works so far as a solo artist. And it's only going to get better. I can't wait because he's not doing military service just yet, right?
No, because he's the youngest of Shinee, so I think he's youngest by far in Shinee. Actually, let me check how old Taemin is exactly. He might actually be younger than you, Andrew. I'm not sure.
No way, Taemin's.
I'm not sure yet.
What am I doing with my life if I'm older than him and he can dance and oh god.
1993.
Okay, so he's like a month older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's we're both the same age. We're both 25 American age. So yeah, he's still got some time. So we'll probably get like one more mini album out of him before he goes.
I bet he'll probably enlist either next year or the year after.
Yeah, so he'll probably just try to rush one out before the end of the year or just early.
I think we'll probably get a really nice like full album.
Oh, hopefully, just something good that'll follow up on this. And we have only high hopes for him because just everything he's put out so far has just been excellent and totally deserving of a truly Daebak seal of approval sort of thing.
Certainly.
It's not just P Nation to them. It's Psy is starting a music company. Like that's
exactly.
Just like getting your foot in the door like that. Just with Psy's name again. It's just It's a recipe for success, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, this honestly has the potential to be